Ever wondered how to create stunning and captivating graphics? Welcome to a world where creativity meets technique, and ideas transform into visual masterpieces. We're about to embark on an enlightening journey exploring advanced design techniques. This expedition will enhance your skills and empower you to create truly remarkable graphics. Our exploration will be divided into 4 key areas. First, we'll delve into the art of image manipulation and retouching, where we'll breathe new life into ordinary photographs, turning them into extraordinary digital artworks. Next, we'll venture into the realm of vector illustration, crafting crisp, scalable graphics with mathematical precision. The third leg of our journey will take us through the dynamic world of motion graphics and animation, where still images come to life. Finally, we'll ascend to the heights of 3D design and rendering, creating realistic, three-dimensional objects and scenes. Prepare to elevate your graphic design skills to a professional level. Stay tuned as we dive into these fascinating topics. First, dive deep into the world of image manipulation and retouching. This realm of graphic design is all about perfecting your visuals and transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary. The magic begins with the process of image manipulation, which is the art of altering or enhancing digital images to achieve desired effects or improvements. One of the most common techniques in image manipulation is color correction. This involves adjusting the color balance, saturation, and brightness to enhance the visual impact of an image. It's like putting on a pair of rose-colored glasses and seeing your image in a whole new light. Next, we move on to image cropping and resizing. This technique is all about removing the unnecessary and focusing on the essential. It's about taking a step back, looking at your image, and deciding which elements need to stay and which ones need to go. And once you've done that, you can resize your image to fit any specific purpose or platform. Background removal is another powerful tool in your image manipulation arsenal. It allows you to isolate the subject of your image by removing the background entirely or replacing it with a different backdrop. It's like giving your subject a whole new stage to shine on. Now let's talk about photo restoration. This technique is all about breathing new life into old or damaged photos by removing scratches, stains, or tears. It's a bit like being a time traveler, going back in time and fixing the past. Finally, we have image compositing. This technique involves combining multiple images or elements to create a cohesive and visually appealing composition. It's like being a chef, taking different ingredients and combining them to create a delicious dish. With these techniques, you can turn any ordinary image into a masterpiece. So dive in, experiment, and let your creativity run wild. Each image is a blank canvas and you're the artist. It's time to create your masterpiece. Next, explore the precision and flexibility of vector illustration. This technique is like a magic trick, using mathematical equations and geometric shapes to create graphics that are scalable without losing image quality. Now that's a trick you'll want up your sleeve. Let's start with Bezier curves. These are the secret sauce to creating and manipulating curved paths. By adjusting control points, you can bend and shape your lines as if they were as flexible as a gymnast. It's like being a puppeteer, pulling the strings to make your design dance. Next in line, we have the pen tool. Think of it as a magic wand. With a flick and a click, you can create precise and smooth lines and shapes. It's just like drawing, but with an added dash of digital precision. Mastering the pen tool is like learning a new language, but once you get the hang of it, you'll be speaking fluently in no time. Now, on to layers and groups. This is where your organization skills come into play. It's like having a well-ordered toolbox. Each element has its own layer, and similar layers can be grouped together. This makes editing and manipulation as easy as pie. It's like having a tidy desk where everything is right where you need it. Finally, we have color and gradients. This is where you can really let your creativity shine. By applying colors and gradients to your vector shapes, you can create depth and visual interest. It's like being a painter, mixing your colors to create the perfect shade. With gradients, you can make your designs pop, adding a sense of realism and depth that will make your graphics stand out from the crowd. Master these concepts and you'll be creating striking vector graphics in no time. Remember, it's all about practice and experimentation. So, grab your digital pen and start doodling. You never know what masterpiece might be just a vector away. Now, let's animate your designs with motion graphics and animation. Imagine your designs coming to life, moving and interacting with your audience. That's the magic of motion graphics and animation. It adds a dynamic and engaging layer to your work, making it not just visually appealing but also interactive and immersive. To start, let's talk about keyframes and timelines. These are the backbone of any animation. Picture keyframes as the main markers in your timeline, the pivotal moments of action. They dictate where and when your animation starts, changes, and ends. As you adjust and manipulate keyframes along your timeline, you control the movement and transformation of your elements. But for your motion to look natural, you need to master timing and easing. Timing refers to the duration and speed of your animation. Easing, on the other hand, is about controlling acceleration and deceleration. It's what makes your animation feel smooth and realistic. Think about a bouncing ball. It doesn't move at a constant speed, right? It accelerates downwards and decelerates upwards. That's easing at work. Now onto transitions and effects. These are your tools to enhance the visual impact of your animations. Transitions smoothly change one scene or element to another, while effects can add filters, distortions, or special visual elements to your animation. They are the seasoning that adds flavor to your animated dish. Lastly, we have audio synchronization. This is all about integrating audio elements with your motion graphics. Whether it's background music, sound effects, or voiceovers, syncing them with your animation can create a synchronized and immersive experience. It's like watching a film where the soundtrack perfectly matches the on-screen action. So there you have it. Keyframes and timelines, timing and easing, transitions and effects, and audio synchronization. Master these elements and you're on your way to creating stunning motion graphics and animation. These skills will enable you to create dynamic and engaging animated content. Finally, bring your designs to life with 3D design and rendering. This fascinating realm of design involves the creation of three-dimensional objects and scenes using specialized software. It's like sculpting, but instead of clay, you're using pixels and polygons. Let's dive in. The first step in the 3D design process is modeling. This is where you create the basic shape of your object. There are a few different techniques you can use, such as polygonal modeling, which involves creating a 3D object from a mesh of polygons. There's also spline modeling, where you generate 3D shapes using curved lines. And then there's sculpting, where you mold your 3D object much like you would with a piece of clay in the real world. Now, once you've got your model, it's time to add some detail with texturing and materials. Texturing is the process of applying images to the surface of your 3D model to give it a realistic appearance. This could be anything from the rough grain of wood to the smooth surface of a polished stone. Materials, on the other hand, define how light interacts with the surface of your object. They help to create effects like transparency, reflection, or glow. Next in line is lighting and rendering. Lighting is what brings your scene to life. It's about placing light sources within your 3D environment to highlight your design's features. Rendering, meanwhile, is the final step in the 3D design process. It's where all your hard work comes together, as the software calculates how the light interacts with your objects and materials to produce a final image or animation. Lastly, we have animation and rigging. Rigging is the process of creating a skeleton for your 3D model that allows it to move in a realistic way. Animation, as you might guess, involves bringing your rigged models to life through movement. With these 3D design skills, you can create realistic and immersive graphics. So go ahead, push the boundaries of your creativity, make the unreal, real. Having explored these advanced design techniques, we've seen the vast scope of possibilities that lie within the realm of graphic design. From the intricate art of image manipulation and retouching, which enhances digital images to achieve desired effects, to the precision and scalability offered by vector illustration, each technique opens up new avenues of creativity. We dove into the dynamic world of motion graphics and animation, where design meets movement to create engaging content. And let's not forget the immersive depth of 3D design and rendering, enabling us to craft lifelike objects and scenes. Each technique is a powerful tool in its own right, but when combined, they enable us to create stunning, professional-level graphics. As with any skill, mastery comes with practice and the willingness to experiment. So don't be afraid to try new things, make mistakes, and learn from them. Remember, practice and experimentation are key to honing your skills in these areas. Now go create some amazing graphics.